Hi everyone, Katelyn Radtke here with this month's bit of security information from Give-A-Hoot. So this month we're talking about one of my biggest pet peeves. I see this all the time when I'm out running errands, and it has to do with your kids. Why you shouldn't let your kids play with your keys. So I have 5 great reasons, and once we're done, I hope you can make your own informed decision about this. The first reason's pretty obvious and has to do with germs. Germs are lurking everywhere, of course, and it's hard to find anything that isn't a magnet for germs these days. However, great question for you regarding your keys. When was the last time that you cleaned your keys? Your keys travel everywhere with you. They go into your ignition, into your door locks, into your locks at work, maybe a padlock too that's outdoors. I haven't cleaned my keys lately, and it isn't really a common ritual to do so. And so before you hand your keys to your kid to play with, something to consider is how many counters at coffee shops have those sat on in the last week. Is that really something that we want to be handing right to our child to potentially put into their mouth? The second thing, and this is something that I think a lot of people might not know about, your keys come into contact with chemicals and grime every day. Automotive locks often come with lubrication inside when they're installed in your vehicles. And also, if you've ever had your lock serviced, it's a common practice for locksmiths to spray a lubricant inside of your lock. These materials are not meant to be ingested by anyone, let alone a small child. And it's really important that we're aware when we're giving our children keys to play with that they might be ingesting these chemicals. Third reason why you shouldn't let your children play with your keys has to do with choking hazards. Even though keys are made of metal and they are quite strong, they can break. We see it all the time in the locksmith industry. We replace broken keys quite frequently, and it is important if your child's playing with your keys that that's something you're aware of, that small metal pieces could break off in their mouth or in their hands and provide a choking hazard. If you have a keychain that you keep your keys on, often these aren't rated for use by children either, so that's another thing that could break, could have small pieces that aren't meant for use by children. All of this, of course, plays into general safety. General safety can be compromised by letting your kid play with your car keys. Freshly cut keys can be sharp, which is often overlooked, and they could, scratch your child's hands or their gums or lips if they're using them as a sort of a teething device again. The fifth and final reason why I want to let folks know to reconsider letting your children play with your car keys while you're out and about has to do with the replacement expense of keys. We as adults have a hard enough time keeping track of our keys as it is. I have personally misplaced my keys in my house or at work throughout my day over the last few years. And the fear of having to replace your keys is very real. And it's important to know that can come with a hefty price tag. Most vehicle keys nowadays use electronic components, and this has increased the price and the cost of having to replace those keys. This also means that they are not supposed to get wet. So if your child is teething and they're a little drool machine, you don't want them anywhere near your car keys or your remotes because they could possibly damage those items. It's important to note too that most remotes and push button keys for your car, they actually have batteries inside. And we all know how dangerous batteries can be and that those are not meant to get wet or to be ingested by children either. So it's really important. I suggest keep your car keys away from your kids, keep your work keys and all that out of their hands, and instead maybe we can carry a small convenient toy in our bag to keep our kids busy while we're out and about. But there it is. There's my pet peeve. I've shared it with you, and now hopefully you and your loved ones can make a better informed decision. Thank you for tuning in.